Wolverine kills himself. You heard what I said. Today, we're talking Wolverine number 37 on
The Newest Mutants!
Just a quick content warning before we get started. This is a violent book. There are some images in it that are graphic and gory. This is more violent than your normal X-Men book, which is why I bring it up. And if you're still here, don't forget to like and subscribe. And now, Berserker Barrage! Our comic begins with Logan's inner monologue. He's alone. Usually for him that's fine, but this time being alone applies to all the mutants. As Logan's thoughts develop, we also witness what he does during the day. He goes to sleep drinking. He wakes up and gets a burger. He goes for a ride on his bike. All the while describing the situation that Orchis has put the mutants in. Then we watch as Logan avoids an Orchis checkpoint and he rides away on his bike. Cut to Washington, D.C. A man buys 2 black coffees and a copy of the Daily Bugle. He sits down on a park bench. Logan's monologue kicks in and he discusses the decimation protocol. Kill 10 humans for every X-Men they catch on Earth. Then Logan brings up his clones that Beast made of him. They're on the loose. His goal? To hunt them down. The man on the bench is actually a contact for Logan and leaves the paper along with one of the cups of coffee there on that bench. Hidden in the newspaper is a top secret CIA document with the word Logans on it. We cut now to Logan's ancestral home, Canada. We're at the place of his birth, the Howell Estate. Wolverine snoops around a bit, and he knows there have been missing people in the area as well as sightings of a monster. He inspects the bones littering the property and finds human remains with the marrow sucked out. In the woods of the north, of course, there is a curse that will take hold over those who eat human flesh. Wolverine pops his claws as something approaches him from behind, and it's a Wendigo Wolverine. Crazy. Wolverine runs inside his family mansion, abandoned to time. Painful memories come flooding back into his head. He's caught off guard, both physically and mentally. And the Wendigo grabs him and tears him apart. But enter the Incredible Hulk. The Hulk defeats Wendigo off screen, and Wolverine wakes up, and we're now at a campfire with a mostly healed Wolverine and one Dr. Bruce Banner. Banner explains the reason he was there is the Hulk, was hunting monsters. Wolverine says, that's why he's here as well, and they shouldn't let their monsters get the better of them. Cut to Aokigahara, Japan. Banner and Logan approach the Dead Forest, another cursed place. As they venture deeper into the woods, Banner and Logan are having an interesting conversation. Banner says violence follows them and they're both better off, but they're always getting dragged onto teams. While they walk and talk, they're being followed. And then shot with arrows. Arrows with a quick-acting poison. A poison so quick, Wolverine's healing factor cannot keep up. So Wolverine wakes up, but Bruce does not. And they're surrounded by cultists. The priest in this situation talks about their cult and takes a robe off of one of them, and it's a Wolverine clone. Hey! He proceeds to slit the throat and cover the knife in the blood of the clone. The priest then stabs himself with that very same knife, claiming it gives him life. The priest says Logan is another miracle and, stabs a couple of the cultists next to him, promising, hey, they'll be rewarded. Luckily, Logan is working to cut his way out. However, the stupid cultists stab Bruce Banner, and, well, that's all it takes for him to turn into the Hulk. The Hulk kills all of the cultists. Ultimately, they also kill the Wolverine clone, but the clone didn't want to hurt people based on those final words, which were, Wolverine good, no more hurt. It hit Logan a little hard. We cut now to the rogue town of Madripoor. Wolverine is dressed in his patch persona, sporting white tuxes along with Bruce Banner. Wolverine and Bruce are wandering around a casino, and through Wolverine's inner monologue, we learn that this particular clone was using the Patch persona and somehow managed to, muscle his way into a local crime ring. So Logan dresses as Patch as a trick to get the attention of the local criminal element. Banner tells Logan it's getting harder and harder to come back as the Hulk, and so he really wants to keep the Hulk out of any sort of violence today. Now, while Wolverine is gambling, a security detail comes to retrieve Logan, who they think is Patch. Meanwhile, Banner steals a security key, and Banner uses the key only to find it opens up to an orgy. Okay. All right, now we're back to Wolverine, and the security detail escorts him into an office where there happens to be his clone. A fight ensues, and members of the security detail get roughed up a bit, but no one dies. But then the fight is quickly over as Solum, a mutant who has adamantium skin, pretty neat, appears with Bruce Banner, and he's holding a Muramasa katana to his neck. Wolverine is like, yeah, go ahead, cut me, and cut him while you're at it. Ha ha ha. He tells Banner they can end this all now. Solum is intrigued because he said, oh, it's Bruce Banner? Interesting. Okay, so we're in a fighting arena. Solum and Wolverine are in this skybox, and the Patch clone and Bruce Banner are in the fighting pit. Bruce and the clone are tethered to something, and the clone just attacks him and stabs him really quickly. Oops, it's the Hulk. Wolverine convinces Solum to cut him free because without him, Banner will probably just destroy everything he worked to build. So now Logan is free and immediately uses a martial art move to disarm Solum and take the Muramasa katana from him. And then he bursts out the window towards the Hulk. The Hulk then hurls the clone towards Wolverine and in true Highlander fashion cuts the sculpt off of the Wolverine clone and slicing, right through the brain. There can only be one, he says. We get a neat little conversation between the Hulk and Wolverine, and Hulk is kind of pissed about what Wolverine made him do, and he says, next time I see you, you'll envy that Wendigo's fate. Finally, as Logan boards a boat out of Madripoor, he realizes that each of these clones were an aspect of himself. But now that the clones are dead, he can focus on one thing, and that is bringing down Orcus.
And that's the book!
And now, welcome to the part of the episode where I thank you for making it this far. And also, this is the part of the episode where I like to ask you a question. So now this story didn't really contribute much to the overall Fall of X plot. That's okay. Wolverine books usually don't follow the main X-Men plot anyways. Wolverine likes to do things his own way. The question is that I want to ask you, what kind of stories about Wolverine do you like? I actually really enjoyed this issue. It really explores Logan's mental state. We see how he sees himself. He's very self-aware of who he is. Wolverine in many respects is the true cowboy of Marvel Comics, a loner with a violent past living to do good. But this isn't about me, it's about you. What is your favorite Wolverine story? Let me know in the comments. But with that, let's get back to the show. Okay, now it's time to give credit where credit is due. And as you can see, I have both this A cover by Lanil Francis Yu and Romulo Fajardo Jr., but I also have the Greg Capullo variant. It is an awesome cover. Look at that. And I'm so happy that Greg is doing covers for Marvel again. It's just awesome. Our writer for the book is Ben Percy. Artist is Juan Jose Reap. Color artist is Frank Diarmata. And our letterer is Corey Petit. Of course, as always, our editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics is CB Cebulski. So I have two quick takeaways from Wolverine number 37. The first belongs to the interaction that Wolverine had with the Hulk at the end of the comic before Hulk bounded off to who knows where. he's pissed at Logan and wants to fight him. So maybe we'll have that to look forward to in a future issue of Wolverine or even the Incredible Hulk. Hulk and Logan have a long and storied history, since Wolverine's first appearance was, of course, in the infamous Hulk 181. Incidentally, also involved in that book was the Wendigo. So I think the writers did a really good job, pulling some threads here from the past. My second takeaway is, now that he's done with his clones, how will he strike back at Orcus? Well, we'll find out when we talk about Wolverine number 38. Ho ho. And of course, this wouldn't be a complete episode without me showing you my 3 favorite panels from the book. Let's start with my third favorite image. And of course, it is the panel of Wolverine getting torn in half. It's gory and it's violent, and well, I had to pick it. It's probably the craziest image in this book, and this book is filled with a lot of crazy images, but Wolverine's guts, they get third place. My second panel here is the panel of the cultist in the dead forest. I love how it's laid out, the symmetry, the colors, everything here screams evil ritual. Just a great panel, and something I like to see in comics sometimes. It's pretty cool, and a lot of greenery. I like it. But without a doubt, my number 1 panel belongs here to the Wendigo attacking Wolverine. It's pretty awesome. The Wendigo Wolverine is a fearsome looking creature. There's a lot of detail in it. It is the best panel in the book, hands down. And that's it. That's the show. Except I have to show you this book, and it's the Greg Capullo variant. Again, but as you can see, it's a little different. This is actually a 1 per store book. Look at the other issue right here. As you can see, it's got all the text on it, and this one does not. It's a 1 per store issue. This is pretty cool. I got a really good deal from my local dealer, if you know what I'm saying. Got it for a very good price. I love it. I actually want to get it autographed and graded. This is a really cool book. Capullo's awesome. In any case, that's the show. Next time, we'll be talking Miss Marvel number 2 here on
The Newest Mutants!